The great debate is real. People are asking, should I personalize my LinkedIn connection request or should I not? Well, on this episode, I'm going to tell you what I feel, what I have seen, and what I know to work. Check it out. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist. And I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, I'm going to answer a question, share my opinion, my thoughts, and what I know to work when it comes towards this great debate. If this is your first time listening to this podcast, go ahead and subscribe. If you would like to connect with your brother, go ahead and find me on LinkedIn, Donald C. Kelly. I'd love to connect with you. Tell me how you found the podcast and how you like it. This show is designed to do two things. One, to help you to 3 to 5x your sales pipeline, and two, to help you close twice as many deals. This is going to help you to be able to overcome some of those challenges, those things that are blocking you, some little things and some big things. And we want to guide you throughout that process. So what is this all about? Let me paint the scenario for you. You have a prospect you're trying to connect with on LinkedIn. I know all of you are trying to use LinkedIn more. And if you want to get more details about our program, yes, go to thesalesevangelist.com/LinkedIn to check out our program. But you're trying to get connected with more of your prospects on LinkedIn. And what you desire to do is simple. You want to be able to talk to people. You want to get responses. You want to get engagement. But when you send these connection requests, you're not getting replies. Someone mentioned to you, you know what? Don't send any messages in the connection request because then the prospect will know that you're a sales professional. Well, granted, that could be the case. But here's what I feel is that argument, that idea, it varies based on individual circumstances. And I'm going to paint to you some of the circumstances why I feel, why people may feel this certain way, that you should not do a connection request to the prospect. And why I feel very strongly, I'm going to tell you that you should have a personalized connection request. But let's start this off. The premise, the premise or the base or the root of all of this is that people want to get engagement. So they feel that if they send a connection request, the prospect will automatically not want to connect with them. This goes back to sharing then what's in that connection request. Oftentimes what I find in that connection request is something super dumb, such as, I would like to add you to my professional networks. I see that we're connected with a bunch of people. Like, these are default messages from LinkedIn and some of the things that's just been circulating around it. But think about this. If you did something like this, do you not think that other people are getting the same exact type of message? I mean, or do you feel that you're so unique that you are the only one asking them to connect because you have mutual connection? That's just like so preposterous. The idea as well that if I send a connection request to the person and I tell them I would like to add them to my network, they're going to be so much more inclined. Like, everyone sees through that right out the gate. Like, there's nothing that compels me as a human being to connect with you just because you want to add to my network. Like, I don't need to connect with you because I want to add people like Pokemon cards. So right off the bat, I often see the reason why, because your messages are, please don't get offended, it's dumb. It's stupid because it just reeks that this is something tying back to a sales professional trying to pose a fake friendship and to try to sell them something. So sometimes it's easier to go like with the Trojan horse idea, I guess, where you just send a connection request to them and then you can surprise them with a pitch later on. And that idea I'm not too fond of as well. So here's go back to it. So why to connect? What can make a connection request much better then? What is the issue with this? Think about this from a prospect standpoint. How many pitches they get on a day-to-day basis and how many of them are really personalized towards them? I'm going to share with you my process in a little bit, but I want to just share with you that what are some of the things from the surface, why people feel so strongly that this shouldn't be. And some people have a good reputation on LinkedIn. Perhaps in their niche, they're superior. They have an influence. Maybe let's say that you're in a cosmetic industry and everyone knows you in your industry. You speak at the industry's trade shows. There's a high probability that if you send a connection request without a message, people know you and they're going to want to connect back to you. So that kind of skews it a little bit. And this is where I say it gets different based on individuals. Now, go back to this other idea, though. LinkedIn started charging for connection request messages. Let that sink in for a second. Let me just take a sip of my agua while you start sipping in on that. Like, just think about that. LinkedIn started charging for connection request messages, just personalized connection requests. When you think about this from LinkedIn standpoint, they're trying to monetize the tool even more so. But why would somebody try to monetize something? Hmm, maybe it's a tool that just doesn't work at all, so they just want to monetize it. I don't think that's the case. Do you think the platform with 1 billion users that's been around for ages has data that shows that a connection request increases the chance of somebody actually connecting with you? Ding freaking ding, right? Think about that. If that is the case, then why is that? It goes back to prove then LinkedIn is trying to push, trying to push you to upgrade so they can get more money from you, and so that you can use this feature to increase your chances of success. So if that is the case, just to go on that argument alone, should you therefore not use personalized connection requests? Now, some people are not going to invest, and I get that. LinkedIn will charge you, I think you get up to 3 personalized connection requests per month. And then if not, you can just do the follow or send a general connection request um, without that message. Now, some people will probably continue to do that and that'll probably work for them. But again, I'm just going off of what LinkedIn has shared and also from LinkedIn behavior. And then also from what I have seen as a sales professional, as a sales trainer, and as someone that just loves using LinkedIn. The personalized connection request is something that I will always share that you should do this. So what I found is that I want to get I want to grab attention first off, and I want to get engagement. When I can grab attention and get engagement, this starts conversations. Conversations leads to opportunities, and opportunities therefore turns into appointments for me and my team and for the clients that we have. And I have countless experiences where I can share that with you. But let's go back and look at this idea again of a personalized connection request. What do I mean by this? We have past episodes documenting and sharing ideas about how you can share some connection request message that's going to help you to stand out. But let's just think about this. I did one the other day where as a prospect, this person was new to their role, and I saw their posts. Now, for me, and when I do my LinkedIn connection request, I use it. And I'll just go through my process right now. I use Sales Navigator build a list. Several factors that's critical for me for our TSC Studio company. You can see it here on my wall. TSC Studio is our podcast production agency, and we produce podcasts for other brands as well as it produces my podcast. And it's the second side of our business. So, two organizations. If you didn't know, now you know. So, the first step that in our process is that I like to build a list, whether it's a leads list or an account list. I want to build this list with people from LinkedIn Sales Navigator, people who have recently been promoted in their positions or folks that have posted on a platform recently. So and then I take that list and then we can build that, transfer that list over to Apollo and enrich it to be able to get information, the mobile numbers, email addresses, or accurate email addresses, information about the company. And then I can find other people within the organization that we can use to multi-thread. In LinkedIn Sales Navigator, start building out the org chart or those centers of influence, those individuals, an account map, so to speak, of those individuals that I need to connect with and people that I need to reach out to, other people that may be active on the platform. Because I want to be able to build that base so I can have that constant communication with the within the organization, within the account. So I have an account list now about 20, 25, 30 account companies, and I have about 2 to 3 individuals in each organizations. When I send a connection request to an individual in that organization, because we focus so heavily on people who are posting on a platform recently, this allows for us to have easier conversation. Last week, I did exactly this. I was in one of my training sessions about LinkedIn, one of our latest cohorts, and I showed them this process in Navigator. Then I saw that the prospect did a post. Now, again, it's critical because we only look at those, we try to focus on those prospects that are posting actively on LinkedIn. Therefore, there's a higher chance of the engagement. I told you from the beginning, I want to grab attention, then I want to get engagement. So since this individual and most of the people on our list, at least a couple of them, are posting on a platform on a regular basis, therefore, I sent a connection request to this guy. It was about LinkedIn using videos now on the platform, and it's pretty dope. If you haven't seen it, they're trying to copy TikTok and Instagram with more videos. If you're on a mobile app, just go on your mobile app and look at the bottom. You should see videos, and then you could scroll. Yeah, they're trying to get that. It works. Video is important. Thus, we're doing this, right? So because of this, I commented on dude's post. I engaged. I liked it. Nobody else really. I think he had 2 other people liked it, so I liked it. Or it wasn't much engagement. And then I posted a comment. I was like, "This is amazing. Absolutely love this idea of videos. We've been waiting for this for years." Then I send a personalized connection request. If this dude was so happy to engage, to post that type of content, it must be that he cares about it and obviously wants engagement. So I grabbed his attention with that right off the bat. And I said, thanks for posting whatever his name is. Say his name was like Jake. And then I sent him a personal connection request message. I said, Jake, thanks again for that post or something to that nature. Super excited for videos on LinkedIn. Something I've been waiting for years. It's good that they're trying to do something like most of these other platforms. Have you guys started doing anything like this yet? Permission to connect here on LinkedIn. And he connected back with me, and that started engagement. When he accepted my connection request, I then sent him a personalized video. And then that started the conversation, started the engagement idea now. I grabbed his attention and started the engagement. I can tell you example and show you some situation like this countless times over and over again. And the reason why this gets so exciting for them is because somebody is communicating. They're not saying dumb stuff like, I'd like to access my professional network, or I would like to, we see a bunch of mutual connections. This is something that I found that was engaging to him. Now, this doesn't come easily. This is not going to be like one of those fly-by-night things where you send out 1,000 of these, then you're going to get reply back. This takes work. And if you're looking for true engagement, if you're looking for people to respond to you on LinkedIn, if you're looking for people that could turn into potential opportunities, this is what you need to do. So this part makes so much sense. And then as I go through my process, I'll explain the rest of it real quick, is that I don't necessarily pitch on LinkedIn. I continue that dialogue. So now we're going into the second week. I sent the connection request, and now we're doing some engagement. We're doing some conversations, talking about the things that's working in the organization, and when it comes to videos, and just continue that dialogue. Now I can then transition. I found some things about their organization that they did have a podcast, and they did do it consistently, but they had several mistakes. They didn't do it weekly, and also their episodes weren't as long. They weren't engaging as much. So I have some intel that I can utilize to be able to grab. Now that I grab his attention, I can use in my value proposition as I reach out to him. Therefore, I know things about podcasting. We've been doing this since like 2012, 2013, that he may not necessarily know. And especially since he's new to the organization, is probably something that they can re-up and to utilize. And I want to be able to pitch that. So I'm going to do that in my first email to him. So my email is going to go back to a video example. I say, thanks again, something to the nature. I haven't finalized it yet, but it'll be like videos on LinkedIn equals money or something like that. And then I will go back and connect with them. Hey, thanks again for that post. I was looking over your profile, looking at your guys' company, and a thought came to mind. I noticed you had a podcast, blah, blah, blah. I'll give them my value proposition and why they should have a podcast and some of the things that I saw from theirs. And if I can give them, well, not going to tell them about the bad, but if I can give you some ideas that can help you guys, would you be open to it? I know you had one in the past. He's more than likely going to respond to that. He's absolutely going to respond because he's already doing it on LinkedIn. The reason is I don't want to pitch on LinkedIn because I don't want to muddy up the water. I'm going to maintain the relationship there, maintain the open channel, but I'm also fostering and creating new channels that I can communicate with them on. Thus, email is one, and two, now I have a LinkedIn. And therefore, I'm going to do a phone call as well. Now, all of these things, again, increases the chance of dude responding, of dude engaging with me, and of dude having conversation. With my examples, I can show you this and share with you time and time again. When I do that personalized connection request, it starts the engagement process, and that engagement leads to conversation. Those engagement and conversations lead to opportunities. Opportunities lead to appointments. Appointments lead to deals and business being developed and closed. From this perspective, this is why I feel very strongly that you should personalize your connection request, because you're looking for engagement. You're looking for conversation. If somebody accepts a connection request, there's a high probability that they probably are not going to start that engagement with you. They're just kind of accepting it and just going through. They're probably just the people who are lurkers on LinkedIn. And if you were to do the numbers, I promise you probably will see that it's not going to necessarily always lead back to a greater success as opposed to doing a personalized connection request that starts engagement and conversation. And that's my feelings on it. That's the data that I'm seeing. That's the argument. Those are the points that I'm tying back to. That comes back again. Data, I don't have hard data, so let's clarify. I don't have hard data, but from the behavior I see from LinkedIn itself, the organization, the behavior I see with the prospects that I work with and that I go after, and the clients that I recommend this stuff to, they start having better conversations. Conversations, what I want. I ain't just trying to build up my profile with a bunch of random folks that's going to ignore me or ghost me when I send them a message or try to pitch them for a solution via email. I don't want that. I want people to engage. And that's my philosophy on it. If you'd like to learn more, actually, I did a audio live, and I'm doing audio live. So one of my buddies and I, he has some philosophies and some feelings, and we're going to have a discussion about that. If you would like to find more information about it, go to my LinkedIn profile, and you can connect with me and see me doing that audio, connect with that audio live. That audio live is kind of like a clubhouse. You can join whenever. We do it every Friday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's just us chatting, me and different individuals, about a topic that could be relevant to you. If you want to find more information, go down below in the show notes, thesalesevangelist.com, and you can find details. Sorry, go into the show notes and you can find it there. Or you can go to linkedin.com/Donald, and whatever it is, just connect with me on LinkedIn, Donald C. Kelly. You can see it on my profile. Listen, I believe strongly in it. Do it, test it out, try it, and let me know what you think. As always, I want you to find more of your ideal customers. I want you to have better engagement. I want you to be able to start conversations and build pipeline. I want you to 3x your pipeline with quality opportunities. I want you to close twice as many deals. But most importantly, I want you to raise your level of thinking, go out and do big things. See you on the next one.